Hello, forgive me YouTube, for I have sinned. It has been many months since my last video, and when you see this one, you'll probably understand why. I try and fix my furling system, I try and modify my furling system, I mainly try and fix it. I discover I don't know how my anchor should be rigged to the boat, or how it should run off the boat. Things fall in the water that aren't the anchor. Things that aren't supposed to be in the water end up in the water, is what I mean. Unfortunately, the audio is terrible. I've got a really crummy microphone on my camera at the moment. The wind noise is tragic. I've done my best of it. I will get a lav mic as soon as I can to hopefully improve that. But hopefully there's something in here that's useful, or at least entertaining for people. Anyway, yeah, anyway, let's roll the vid. Okay, welcome back. It's been a little while, but here we are. I have some plans today. They involve the forestay and the furling system. We'll see how far we get, but basically I have this issue where the furling drum is set, you know, almost at deck level, to the point where I don't think I can easily get an anchor past it. We'll have to look at that in a second. But I also can't adjust the tension on the forestay because I haven't got a turnbuckle on it, and if I did, I wouldn't be able to access it. So what I'm hoping to do today, get all the sails off, and basically remove this drum, disconnect the forestay, take it off. I'm going to go home, I'm going to hopefully design some very simple brackets, stainless steel ones, to lift it off the deck, maybe 4 or 5 inches or so, just to give access for the anchor chain to go underneath it, and also to allow us to access a turnbuckle that I'm hoping to put in there as well. So yeah, let's take a look. Right, okay, head sail is off. It's an interesting wrap. Yeah, never mind. We'll work on the furling drum in a second. What I'm going to show you first is the anchor. So obviously I've got this ridiculous bowsprit on my setup, which gets in the way of deploying the anchor. So we need to lower that. This does not happen very often, so I have actually dropped anchor with this bowsprit before. It's this technique. It isn't really set up for it, as you can see. I'd really benefit from setting up some kind of cleat system where I could just release that and drop it without having to untie knots and drop everything in the water. That'd be good. Okay, so this is the bit I definitely don't have a very good understanding of. Anchor is in here. Anchor lid obviously broken. Let's ignore that for the moment. There's like a little hole for it here to, I don't know, for the chain to run through when you close the lid, or to hold it in place. It goes presumably to this tube thing and then into the drain. Now previously when I've dropped it, I've struggled with this so much, I've literally hand lowered it through this gap and then manually put the road into that little stainless steel tube. But I don't think that's how it's supposed to be done. But if you draw a straight line from here to there, there is no straight line. It literally hits the bottom of this furling system. So I think on later raccoons they actually move the anchor locker to this side of the boat. Presumably to facilitate a straighter run. I'm not entirely sure why they didn't do that on the early versions. It seems like quite an obvious thing to correct. It's something you would have thought they would do right. Anyway, let's see how it goes. Apologies in advance for everything. I literally never touch the anchor. What are these? These are wooden shock things. Ready for running it out without tearing the deck up? Any ideas? Let me know in the comments, because I don't know what those are. There's 2 sets of them, very damp, a bit minging. Interesting. An anchor. Right, so if I Blancarino that over the side, this is exactly the issue. If I try and run that straight into there, I mean it does fit. Okay. That, I mean this is pretty much an example of it. It's jammed under the furler. So I need to run it around the side of the furler, and then it's literally just going to absolutely hammer that on the way out. Seems odd. Very odd. Is that how I'm supposed to do it? Do I literally hand feed it? What are these little wedges are for? Do I put them on the side of the furler to guide it round? Now what happens? I've got where the chain meets the road. I presume it's not supposed to just be in a giant knot, because that's not passing through there. Ah, man. Maybe I should learn more about anchors. Okay, what else have we got? Road. There's more chain in here. That's odd. Shouldn't it be chain, road? That's it. Why have we got more chain? Should it be attached to the boat? I mean, should it, or do you just throw this over a cleat? Which makes me wonder what these little holes in the locker lid are for then. I presumed it was so you ran a certain amount of road out, and then when you were happy you closed the lid, you left it at that so you didn't have a load sat on your deck. But then if that was the case, where does it secure to? Unless you leave the excess in here and you wrap it around a cleat. Somebody tell me how to use an anchor, please. Or at least how to rig it to the boat. These are the wedges. It's literally like a wedge like that with like a weird cutout in it. I have no idea what those are for. I'd love to know if anyone's got any ideas. Okay, so it turns out the new will run past this, past the furling drum, but you have to kind of manhandle it. It's literally rubbing straight on the furler. Like, if I had to pull this up in a hurry, which I think you generally do, right? It's going to be chafing the crap out of this furling drum. And this is one of the main reasons I really want to raise this up, because it will just give me just that little bit more clearance, better visibility. Yeah. Don't really know how that helps. Okay, that's enough of that. So, plan is I'm going to loosen off the cap shrouds, loosen off the backstay, try and take all the tension off the forestay, so I am going to have to actually do the forcing to get that off. The boat has lowers, forward and aft lowers, so I'm hoping they'll keep everything fairly stable in terms of where the mast is. I'm going to take probably the spinnaker halyard, maybe the jib halyard to be more sensible, and take that down to one of the deck cleats to take some of the load off the forestay, and hopefully everything will be nice and solid. Yeah, and I just need to get the furling line off the drum, and then it should be good. Let's see. Right, news just in. These little wedges, I don't know if you can see that on that camera angle, this sit in front and behind the cleats, presumably to stop sheets jamming in it when you're racing or when you're cruising. I've never seen that on another boat. It seems slightly odd. We have had a few issues with spinnaker lines and things jamming, so at least I now know what they're for. Nothing to do with the anchor, so it doesn't really change what I'm doing. Okay, so I've released the rig tension other than the lowers, because I think the lowers are going to help what I'm doing. I brought the spinnaker halyard down to that deck cleat, and now I'm going to see how brave I feel with the forestay. I can see there's no tension on it because I can see the terminal moving at the bottom. So at the moment, this furling drum has seen much better days, and you can see where there's some material gone there. That used to lock this whole aluminium extrusion in place, and now you can just lift the whole lot out. So I guess it does give me some indication of how high I'll be able to get the drum before we top out. It's not high, is it? So at that point there, we're rubbing the mast, so really we're only going to get, that was lined up with there. We're going to get a tape measure. I'm going to go get a tape measure. I guess something worth mentioning is actually, I've just had a look, and when I lift this up, it's topping out on the top terminal. So I could actually gain a little bit more height by shortening this lower section, because these are effectively telescopic, these furling systems, in principle. Mine's probably not anymore, because it's probably seized up, but yeah, you kind of set this lower section to the length you need, you rivet it in place. Anyway, enough waffle. There may be options, is what I'm saying. So, let's have a look. I can see a line where it has obviously sat. Oh, it's useful. Okay, so 100 mil. So that, which is and that all seems okay. I've also 3D printed, for lack of being able to get spare parts, some new bearings to go in these, because at the moment it actually physically moves around on the forestay, which is less than ideal. Right, I still have minor paranoia about undoing these bolts. I say minor, fairly major paranoia. Right, I'm going to get the furling line off and we'll go from there. Godspeed. Well, I guess once the bolt's loose, you can see whether there's any tension in it. Mobile nearby if anything goes wrong. No, I should try to take that out. Possibly not very clever, but a plan to stop the extrusion just slamming into the deck. Okay, so I think there is still some tension on that forestay. So I'm going to undo the tension on the lowers, the rear lowers a bit more, I think. Right, I've loosened all of the aft rig, so there shouldn't be any tension on this. I have the spinnaker halyard there. I've given the forestay a twist with my finger and I can see the terminal at the bottom moving, so there obviously isn't that much load on it. However, I still don't be able to press it out, so it might just be held in by the frames. So I think I'm just going to go for it. I imagine the weight of the forestay and the extrusion is going to want to go backwards. Maybe I should have secured it up to hold it first. Thanks. One looks like I can easily do that. Okay, right, so now there's something holding this from falling back-ish, in principle. Moment of truth. Why is this so hard? Excellent. Well, that's gone. At least I can't re-secure it now. What else can I lose? Let's see. Oh good, the whole thing's a waste of time because that terminal won't fit through the inside of the drum anyway. Another classic sailing donkey. Bugger. Unless I can detach the drum from this lower bit, which it looks like you can, but it looks quite awkward. It looks like there's maybe 8 screws holding the drum onto this kind of bearing unit at the bottom. That's so annoying. Right, is my mast still up? Yes. This is actually a swaged on fitting, so I could undo it. But It's sometimes the problem with these swageless. Did I say it was swaged on? It isn't swaged on, it's swageless. So the problem with these swageless fittings, they're very convenient, but they're bulky. Yeah, I feel like I don't have a lot of choice now. I've come this far, I might as well undo the swage. I want to go sailing tomorrow. I'm going to replace this with turnbuckle anyway. The question is how quickly can I get that done? Right, I've run out of time anyway. I will think about it. I will stew on it. So all in all, largely a waste of time. I guess I've learnt a few things about how the system works. But yeah, next steps is working out whether to continue trying to modify it or replacing it. Let's wait and see what happens.